Performance of the season so far, potentially, from Liverpool U19 to me for Youth League today. 4-1 win after falling 1-0 behind after a penalty, with goal scorers as follows. Kieran Morrison opened the scoring after linking up with Trent Kone-Doherty. He volleyed one home in the first half. Carter Pennington, who was playing at right back today, headed one home to give the Reds the lead in the second half, before Keirel Figueroa came from the bench to give Liverpool a 2-goal cushion. Before finally, my personal player of the match, Trent Kone-Doherty, beat his man yet again and hit one across goal to round up the scoring. So Liverpool were really good today from back to front. It was a great team performance. Performance of the season, maybe because not just the flashy attacking play, but they really did have to dig deep at times. Goalkeeper Miskio was relied upon at times, which is fine, it happens. They're really into quality outfit in Leverkusen, but the lads really dig deep. The refereeing decisions didn't always go their way. There was somewhat controversy on the Leverkusen bench, constantly berating Liverpool players, the referee, and I think Liverpool did really well to keep the composure today. So in terms of personal performances, I think we have to give a nod to Josh Davidson and Carter Pennington, both playing out of position today. Davidson, normally a right back, was playing at left back, but he's a very intelligent player, can play in midfield as well, and he knows his way to how to play through the lines, the best way to progress the ball. He always usually found a solution. Carter Pennington, normally a centre back, 17 years old, filled in at right back. I think he actually offered a lot on the ball, which maybe a centre-back filling in on the flanks. You'd expected to play a more defensive game, but he was making overlapping runs. And he gave Trent Kone-Doherty a great cushion to bounce off. Speaking of whom, Kone-Doherty is probably my man of the match today. First half, it took down a number of really long floated balls which looked difficult, some looping, and he had a great first touch today. It was really on. Some of his touches, he'd use his body, the timing of it, and how fast he is to beat his man first time, and he played a great game. Second half, he carried on in the same vein really. He had the beating of his man all afternoon, constantly showing him a clean pair of heels. He had a bit more trickery about him today than I've seen of him in the past, and it's an interesting dynamic. He played out on the right. He is normally naturally a left winger. Every time I've seen him on the right, though, he seems to be in great form, playing in this manner. And it's something that I'd like to see more of. I don't know if it's the different angles he works with, but today it was absolutely exceptional, and he did round it off with a goal right into the opposite corner at stoppage time, breaking into the box after again finding a way to beat his man. Looking into the midfield, we do have Kone-Doherty, who played the game at his own pace really. It felt like he had all the time in the world, even though he probably didn't. He really took his time on the ball. He played a variety of passes, floated out wide, through the lines, into the striker's feet, 1-2s. We saw for Morrison's goal, he played a nice 1-2, and that's how the goal came about. And it was a real mature performance. He floated across the pitch all afternoon. And Morrison, in a similar vein, I noticed he had been playing on the right wing so far this season, Campbell on the left wing. When he first broke into the under-18 team, though, it was as an under-16 player, and he did play midfield. He was labelled as a midfielder, so it was interesting to see how he did back in that role today after not playing there for a while, and it seemed to suit him quite well. Although different roles in name, in the right-sided centre midfielder role, which he did primarily play, he did take up a lot of the same positions, so we found him in the pockets. But he was behind the ball a lot more, punching balls through the lines. He's always got a bit of trickery about him, Morrison, and we saw a few disguised passes in there. But naturally, with the goal, his best asset, ball striking, found the bottom corner and left the keeper with no chance. And the final player that we'd like to talk about is Rio Ngumoha. Now, for me, he's had an interesting start at life at Liverpool. I think he's come with a massive reputation, and I think Liverpool have signed a number of players in recent years that have hit the ground running. We've seen a real quick acceleration from the under-18s to under-21s and first team appearance, and it's not going to be that way every time. I'm not saying that Ngumoha is not of that ilk. I think he is. I think he's top class. I think he's top notch. I think he's one of the best young players in the country. But I think he needs time. He needs coaching and he needs time. He's in a new place. He's in a new line of work. He's surrounded by new people. And there's no need to rush him anywhere. And with that, I think that there has been somewhat of a clamour for him to be accelerated. I think his performances so far have been good. I don't think they quite correlate with the fan perception of him online. I don't think he's been absolutely unreal. But that's fine. he's there to learn. He's here to learn. He's literally just 16. But today was a different level than we've seen him on in a Liverpool shirt so far, and I think it was his best game. Just to explain what I previously said, I do think the talent is there, the same talent that we've seen with these previous other youngsters like Doak, like Cade Gordon. Potentially even higher. You can see the talent when he does play. You can see that the talent will be there, but he needs time to get there, and I think he will get there. And for me, today was the first time where I've seen a real good indication of that. I think he played a very different game to what he's been playing with the under-18s. See, now we talk about Ngumoha in isolation, but there's a lot of different factors there. It could be he's playing with different teammates at under-18s from under-19s. He's been away on international duty. That could play a part. Or maybe he's just settling in better at the moment. But today was a different game from him. We saw him combining a lot more, even with his fullback, with his interiors, with his striker. He was a lot more selective in when he chose to go on those mazy dribbles. But he was still letting the defender know that it was always a threat. Fast feet, even when it was a pass inside, made the defender second guess twice, and it does make even more space for his teammates. And the fact, it just gives him another tool in his arsenal, really. I think he pressed better today. Late in the second half, we saw for Carol Figueroa's goal. He won the ball high up the pitch. He pressed better than I've seen him today, and he deserved a goal. Really, we have to forget Liverpool are a bit more cautious of pushing people up. That has improved in recent years. But in this competition, he's one of the youngest in the entire competition. So he's still playing up in age group here. So it was a really impressive show from him today. And I'm looking forward to see how he builds on this. I think this is what he needs to build from. This should be the bar for him. And I think everything else will fall into place. Should the hard work come, but it's real good from Ngumoha today, and it was a joy to see. It was a bit of a sneak peek, really.